outline a little bit about the site for you. Feel free to take any photographs you like, and to also read the information boards there behind you. If you could leave any questions until the end, that would be great, thanks. We'll then move downstairs to an auditorium where we'll watch a multimedia presentation which will tell you all about how a television picture travels across the world and through Ghoonhilly here. I'll start by telling you about where we are now. This is the old control tower. It was in here where all the equipment was housed which controlled the older antennas on site. These days, all of the equipment is housed in a room which is located below and to the east of us, known as the OCA, or the Operational Control Area. Unfortunately though, for security reasons, we're unable to see into this area. You'll get a good idea of what it's like from the presentation downstairs. This is also the room where the first live television pictures were received in July of 1962. That was via the satellite Telstar. If you'd now like to start looking at the antennas, if you look to my right, you see the large canary image there, that's Arthur. He's located outside the visitor centre, so I expect you all had a good look at him already. He's actually the oldest antenna on site, built in 1962 to track the satellite Telstar. And he's also the heaviest, weighing a hefty 1,100 tonnes. Telstar was a fast-moving, low-orbiting satellite, which was only above us for 30 minutes in every 2 hours, and Arthur was able to track it as it passed overhead. These days we have what are known as geostationary satellites, which orbit in time with the revolution of the planet, and so the antennas only have to move a fraction at a time. The whole of this year, Arthur's in service, covering the television services over the Indian Ocean region, and he also deals with special television events. If you'd now like to look beyond the football pitch there, you'll see a large play dish, which is Ulla, and next to him is Merlin with the white interior. Although you may not look it, Merlin is actually the largest antenna on site, with a dish diameter of 32 metres, that's 105 feet. To give you some idea of how big that actually is, if you look at the small hole in the centre of the dish, that's actually large enough to fit a small car the size of a mini. Considering his size, he's surprisingly light, weighing a mere 395 tonnes. This is due to his construction of tubular aluminium. Merlin was designed and built over in Japan by Mitsubishi and then reassembled here in just under 12 months from a giant kit form. Now let's look straight ahead. You'll see a group of 4 smaller antennas which together form our land mobile, aeronautical and maritime services. That includes things such as communications to and from ships, as well as playing an important role in receiving distress signals from ships when they get into difficulty out at sea. The signal goes from the ship via a satellite to one of those antennas there, and is automatically transmitted to the Coast Guards in Falmouth, so that the appropriate search and rescue operations can be initiated. Another one of those antennas there mainly deals with our Skyphone services. We're actually one of only 3 state Earth stations in the whole of the world which can deal with such transmissions from aircraft that fly around the world. The other 2 being in Singapore and Norway. If you now like to look beyond the roof there, you'll see the tops of 2 large white antennas which together form our business communications. They deal with things such as faxes, computer data, telex and the like. Now if you look carefully beyond the flat roof there with the railings on the top, you might be able to see the top of another antenna. If you can't, you just have to believe me for now, and you'll see it when you go on your bus stop. But he actually deals with short notice television broadcasts, such as when journalists are reporting some troubled spots around the world. For example, when they're in Kosovo, the Gulf War, Bosnia, and so on. If you now finally look at the large white antenna there, that's Ghoonhilly. She's actually of a slightly different design to the other antennas on site. We can see one of them, but she actually has 2 large white oblongs sticking horizontally out of her middle. They're concrete counterbalances which prevent her from falling over when we have strong winds. All of the antennas on site are designed to withstand winds of up to 140 miles per hour. But that's all we've got time for now, so if you'd like to read the information boards, take any photographs, and ask me any questions which I can do my best to answer, please feel free to do so.
Well, we're just looking at this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, if nobody else has got any more questions, could you make your way downstairs?
Welcome aboard your Earth Station shuttle vehicle. We hope you found your visit to the command complex interesting. We will now explore the site in more detail. To your right lies the static water supply. This is not an ornamental feature. The drought of 1976 led to many fires on Ghoonhilly Downs. Now water may be pumped from this point to anywhere on site. The Earth Station is also surrounded by fire breaks around the perimeter. In the fires of 1976, most wildlife within the site survived. Most wildlife on the surrounding downs did not. Earth Station Ghoonhilly is situated within a site of special scientific interest, a nature reserve managed by English Nature. Wildlife inhabiting the site includes rabbit, fox, badger, stoat, adder and rare moths. A pair of kestrels nest here every year. Rare orchids and a unique Cornish heather grow on site. This plant is found nowhere else in the UK. The site is also rich in archaeological features, including Bronze Age burial mounds and a Neolithic standing stone. Ahead of us now lies Uther, the second oldest antenna on site. Uther is turned on his track by two 15-horsepower engines housed in the small grey cabins at the foot of the antenna. In the event of a malfunction, the antenna may be turned manually. But an engineer inserting a starting handle into one of the motors would have to make 1,000 turns in order to move Uther 1 inch around his track. As you can imagine, this is not a popular job. Let us return to Merlin. This is the most powerful and advanced antenna on site. Merlin carries up to 15,000 telephone calls at any one time, as well as 12 television channels. In 1985, Merlin brought the Live Aid concert to over 2 billion people in 100 different countries worldwide. This features in the Guinness Book of Records as the largest audience for a single TV broadcast. The small antennas to your right are part of our maritime, mobile phone and aeronautical systems. Also to your right is a wind farm. This facility is privately owned and lies beyond the Earth Station perimeter. There are 14 turbines. Each can provide enough power to supply around 250 households. By comparison, our own emergency generators can produce enough power to supply a town of 20,000 people, about the size of Telstar. Next on your right is Lancelot. Lancelot carries business communication systems, notably video conferencing. A common application is the TV chat show, where a guest, possibly thousands of miles away, is interviewed live on screen via satellite, as if the interview were taking place in the same studio. This system is increasingly used by corporations holding conferences with delegates around the globe. To your right is our Satellite Communications Research and Development Facility. The largest antenna, grey in colour, is Pellinor, mounted on an old gun turret from a battleship. Each year, Pellinor carries the Eurovision Song Contest. Moving swiftly on, further on again to your right lies Ghoonhilly. This elegant antenna covers the Indian Ocean region and carries traffic from Hong Kong, Singapore, China, Japan, India and Western Australia. In the TV programme Treasure Hunt, Annika Rice scaled the heights of Ghoonhilly to retrieve one of her clues. To your right, you can now see the emergency generators which were referred to earlier. These provide indefinite backup in the event of a mains power failure. The large exhaust pipe carries emissions from just one of the generators. There are 4 more on the other side. The unassuming building to your left is where the transatlantic telephone cables enter the UK, 6,500 kilometres after entering the Atlantic at Manahawkin, New Jersey. We are now travelling back to the visitor centre. If you look to your right through the perimeter fence, you can see the Dry Tree Standing Stone. The stone weighs almost 10 tons. Archaeologists believe it was brought here from some distance away by our prehistoric ancestors. One theory is that such stones were used to communicate with the heavens. Ahead of us again now is Arthur, the world's first parabolic satellite communications dish, which carried the first live pictures from the USA via space in 1962. Arthur is still fully functional and is used to carry special televised events, including the World Cup and the Olympic Games. Next time you're watching one of these events on TV, remember the picture you see is travelling through distant space and via this antenna at Earth Station Ghoonhilly before it reaches your living room.
It's just like this Kennedy Space Center in Florida. There's all the wildlife in it, no? Watch the snakes, Ivan. No, I was telling you that in Florida, watch the snakes.
That is a comment on the dam, don't I? I saw that when I was walking over the bog.
Downs. I'll get this satellite dish. It's the Telstar, famous Telstar dish. Right, take my picture, Ivan. Press the red button.
Right, I paused it.
Nick, your voice is going
Nick,
to
Nick, I don't understand what...
You're shaking it up and down, that'll look awful. When you see it on the screen, if you
Nick,
move it up like that, it'll look, you're too fast.
I'm trying to get the dish.
You want to
I'm
move
getting
it a lot slower though, because otherwise it's going to be whizzing around. You get seasick if people do that on the screen.
No.
Right, Ivan, go now, right.
The problem is you don't even know when to record. I think, no,
You're recording it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm still recording it.